Welcome to Sharp Mind, Dirty Hands podcast. I am your host, Sean Sharp, owner of Sharp Detailing. Today's episode, you're not going to want to miss. We're interviewing another business owner, episode number 2. Stick around. We have a lot of things coming for you. All right, so we are here today with Eminent Detailing. So first off, just start off introducing yourself. Tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, everything like that.
All right. Well, my name's Christian. My business is Eminent Detailing. I've been doing this for almost 11 years now. Pretty much, the day-to-day, detailing, engine detailing, headlight restoration, polishing, ceramic coating. It goes on more in depth into that. I do boats. I'm trying to get into aircraft soon, so anything automotive.
What's one part of detailing that used to stress you out that you now have mastered?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think that, you ever fully master something.
Yeah.
So that's something that most people don't really. I mean, if you're saying you master something, then you're probably missing out on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Every day you're learning something new. But as far as it's stressing me out, I would say systems.
Yeah.
Systems used to stress me out, just because I was all over the place. I used to own another business while doing this, and I noticed that I had no structure. I was always doing one thing there, another there, and then detailing.
I could definitely relate with that. Our processes are very important. What are your processes? Are you using any software, anything like that right now?
I would say I'm still stuck old school, because I feel like I am barely applying what I should have been applying years ago. As far as systems now, I do have a helper, and as far as an employee, I did take the time to write out SOPs, when it comes to every single package of the business. And that's been really helpful for them, instead of having to call me every 10 minutes saying hey, what chemical do I use for this, and so forth. But
yeah, so that's a lot of areas that I see personally that detailers kind of slack on is SOPs and software and getting stuff
organizing
in line
yourself
like that. So that's freaking awesome that you're looking into that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting all over again, man. To be honest,
right?
Regardless of
same,
we're in the same boat. You told me your story, I told you mine. I have 11 years in the business and skills, but actually
running a business,
becoming from a detailer to a business owner is completely different.
Yeah, and it took a while.
And it took a long time just because we didn't want to invest into ourselves, and it is what it is. It happens, and sometimes you learn the hard way.
Yeah.
But as long as you keep pushing, then
definitely
you got to keep going.
What's the worst job you took in, and give us a little insight on how that go.
Yeah, so this particular job is pretty much engraved in my head. I used to have another helper that he still is around sometimes. We had a job in Temecula back in 2021. This is before I had an actual system of giving estimates and asking proper questions and So I gave a flat rate price for an interior detail, which turned out to be a disaster detail. When I got there. French Valley from where I'm at is probably 40 minutes. So it was a far drive, first off. I gave him a ballpark price. Actually, I didn't. It was a flat rate price. And I get there and, cars, it's a third row seat vehicle, which should have charged extra. It had pet hair. It had everything. It had odors. It had heavy stains.
So now, do you have prices for those upcharges, or do you kind of right now? Do you have any processes of upcharging, or is it just in your mind right now, or?
No. So I actually have like I said, it goes back to systems. So now I do have like a starting price.
Yeah.
And I give like, I pretty much try to base everything by hour. So like if I say, I'll ask my most important questions when it comes to interior details. I'll ask, is there any pet hair? Is there heavy stains? Is there odors? And then depending on the answers from those three things and the pictures given, because I do ask for pictures, especially for interiors.
Now let me ask you a question, because you're asking them if there's pet hair, all these questions, right? And by my experience, I've noticed that the client starts to like ghost you once you ask those questions. Does that happen to you? Like you'll ask those questions and they'll kind of get set back from all the questions you're asking.
So I try to make it like short and sweet as far as like just asking all the questions in one message. And then a lot of the times it's become easier for me to close a sale when I get them on the phone.
Exactly.
So when I get them on the phone, I can ask all the questions. They can ask all the questions regardless of the detail package.
It's harder to hang up than not answer a text.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then as well, I like to document my messages because like a lot of people will get you, as far as a client, will tell you, hey, well, over the phone you told me this, this, and that. And then you get here and then you tell them it's a whole different price. Yeah. When in difference is you put it in text or like a message, a professional message, you email them back. You'll tell them everything that is included. They answer all your questions. I'm trying to get to the point where like I have a CRM actual like website and everything. Like I've seen other detailers have, where they go on a website, ask all the questions, they fill out the form, put all their information, and then go ahead and it becomes easier, like collects deposits and all that.
Definitely easier. Something I ran into is with those upcharges, if you don't ask ahead of time and get an idea of the condition on the vehicle and you have a day plan, then you start falling behind and it's like a domino effect. Then you're just running to your jobs late. Yeah.
Like I said, it's just organizing yourself and like when it comes down to like having to fall behind, because it happened to me today. Communication is very important with customers. So
yeah, definitely.
My biggest thing is I will say, like, I'll give you an example, like a maintenance wash should take an hour, especially depending on the size of the car and if it is maintained. Yeah. I'll give myself an extra 30 minutes on top of that appointment just because of drive time or things could happen. You need to pick up gas, water, whatever it is.
Yeah, the apps, like the app that I'm using, it automatically sends the client that, like, please allow an hour to an hour and a half for your detailer to arrive to the job. So, I don't have to do nothing. It sends all the any of my referrals. It sends them a referral link. It sends them a review link, 3-day follow-up, and this is all hands off. So I don't have to do nothing. Yeah. It's just set in the back end, and then.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to me about that because I like I said, I feel like I'm starting all over again and trying to actually create a business where like it's professional.
It's definitely a different thing. Yeah. And I did the wrong way for a long time too.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. I said.
So how do you keep your mind sharp during the slow time without getting overwhelmed?
I like this question because I've recently been applying it in my life, and it all comes down to personal development. Yeah. Like I always tell people, like back then, I was, I had vices. I was, not eating clean. I wasn't working out. Like everything comes down to personal development, and like you can't keep your mind sharp. Like everything's mindset. Like, everything starts with yourself. So
that's one thing that. This whole business has pushed me on is mindset, growing my mind, elevate.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like I said, personal development literally like will apply to different aspects in your life. Like, for example, like the 4 pillars of, I would say, life is, relationships, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. Definitely. That's 5, but I added an extra one under.
Threw it in there.
But,
bonus.
It's a bonus. And like I said, as soon as I started like working on myself, everything else started like aligning. So that's why, like, when, especially in the winter time, a lot of detailers get discouraged, and it gets slow. It's any service business is gonna get slow. So I always say, you have to double down in working in the business. So you gotta do marketing, communication, reaching out for reviews, telling customers like, hey, like, is there anything that I can improve in my business? And I feel like that's kind of like balanced me out, because I'm gonna be honest with everyone, like my setup is not the best setup.
Yeah, you do great work though.
But it comes down to the work and the type of person that you are. Like, how do you present yourself? Because I know image is very important, and I've seen it. Like, I've seen detailers where they come, their image is super great, but as a person, they're not business oriented there. You get me? So it's just a balance, and I'm working on the image part, but. Yeah, wintertime, I just say just double down on marketing and you know, reach out to clients, you know, keep planning for the future. Oh, here we go with the rotary. You know, using a rotary in the detailing aspect is very efficient, and, you know, it helps you with time.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you know, they say, hey, that's the old school way, but you can't kind of put your 2 cents into something that you haven't used yourself.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, like, yeah, when it comes to a DA, yeah, you can probably, you know, cut, finish, and, you know, finish a car, but at what cost? You give me as far as time. You know, it's just both of them.
And you learn
both of them have its place. You know.
Yeah, you learn that with experience too. Personally, I learned it doing corrections. I'd be sitting on a car with a DA for hours, just grinding paint with either like a microfiber with heavy cut, trying to get scratches out, and then just over time grab the rotary and be like, hey, this works quicker.
No, so I'll give you an example. Like, it happened to me once, and I had a fellow detailer that reached out to me, and he's like, hey man, like, I tried every combo, every pad combo, and I can't get these swirls out, I can't get these deep scratches out, like, and I was like, hey, like, how's your, you know, rotary work? Like, do you know how to use one? Like, you can definitely, you know, get those results faster and not be frustrated to continue having to, like, keep trying different things, wasting time and product, you know, different. Because I get it, there's soft clear coats, hard clear coats, and it all depends. But when it comes down to gel coat, let's talk about RVs and boats. Where are you going to get with a DA?
Yeah.
A DA is not going to get anywhere in gel coat.
No.
There's a couple people that a lot of youngsters look up to as far as in the detailing game. And so these people need to be called out sometimes, because, you know, there's just better ways to do things.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
And why make people struggle? No, yeah, like, this guy called me a car washer, and I'm like, bro, like,
right?
I can literally out rotary you with one hand.
Rotary.
But it is what it is. It's not even about that. It's about teaching people to
definitely
get get better.
And then if you can't use a rotary and you call yourself a detailer, I feel like learning a rotary is like not even basic. Yeah. Like, if you can't learn a rotary, you shouldn't be in business. I mean, that's like whatever, hate me for that, but if you really can't you can learn a rotary literally in 10 hours of polishing behind it. Yeah, you might mess up down the line, but then you learn from that experience.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I've never burned paint.
Oh, yeah.
Have I burned paint? Yeah, I fixed it. I, you know, reached out customers like, hey, you know what, I messed up. Like, let me take care of it and have integrity and take care of it, you know?
Well.
But that's one thing, too, that I always say, like, detailers have to reach out and have different skills to be able to, like, be more efficient in business.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
like, I'm working on this Cyber truck right now, sanding it, and I didn't want to do it. I was nervous as hell, you know, getting into it. But I mean, nobody else is doing it, so if I learn the process, it's going to separate me from all the other detailers. So, walk us through your current setup, your favorite tool, favorite products, and why.
Like I said earlier, you know, like, this is all my fault. Like, I never invested into my equipment like how I should have. I recently got a van, you know, broke down. But as far as the tools, I have everything. It just blows my mind. Like, if you guys saw my setup, it's very, very basic.
Yeah.
You get me?
Oh, definitely.
I use Harbor Freight polishers, like I have Rupes polishers, but at the end of the day, it's like, what are you using and the knowledge and skills that you apply to finish a job and actually get good results?
Exactly.
All these detailers want to have the best
fancy
products, the best, the most expensive, the nice $20,000 setups on their vans. It's good to have. It's very efficient. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I'll definitely invest into that and get it soon. But it's crazy when you bootstrap a business from the bottom and like create something big from just using basic tools.
Yeah.
But as far as like the question, what's really changed my interior game was the Tornador. I would say the Tornador Mini and the Tornador Black.
Tornador, and I would say Tornador for interior
and the rotary
on the and then on the exterior, as far as polishes, I would say 3D1.
Okay.
For a good one step.
Okay.
And
I started with that one.
And then what's another good one? Top for boats.
Okay.
Those are two good products that I can't live without.
You know what I've learned? I want to give a shout out to Drake's Detailing, because he helped me out so much with gel coat.
Same.
And I'm pretty sure, as far as like getting results with like mixing chop top and heavy cut in together.
Yeah.
Dude, I get like crazy finish with that. Try it. Dude, yeah, dude. If the customer's in the budget and like they wanna like you want good results, but this is not gonna cut it. Try that, and they're gonna be super happy. Like do your final polish, and then you're gonna get some good clarity out of that. Unless something needs to be sanded, as far as gel coat. But yeah, those Shine Supply I really do enjoy it. It is just
some of it's pricey.
Yeah, it's pricey. It's just a little bit goes a long way. So
and you have all these products. There's a lot of hype on some of them. So I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying the name brand and the detailers will hype these products up to make them seem like they're
the best.
They're the best, and realistically, a lot of these products fall like if there was a detailing scale like 1 to 10.
Yeah,
I would say most of the products are probably hitting a 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And then you have your crappy products that don't work. I don't want to name names.
No, yeah.
But I would say all the top people are like fluctuating within a point.
Yeah.
Like
no,
it's not that big of a difference.
like when I was getting into it, like really Shine Supply was one of like my go-to, like when I had the money to really like invest into it. Recently I've been trying Coach Chemi. So Coach Chemi, I never gave it its, try. Now I am, and I'm actually starting to like.
It's definitely good.
Yeah. A lot of the products from there. I use a lot of Rocket Wax. Most detailers never heard of him, but he's out of LA. He actually made my logo, so I'll give another shout out to him. He has his own line, Rocket Wax Supplies.
Awesome.
A lot of his products are decently priced, and they work really well.
Yeah. So what's been your biggest level up moment in business so far?
I'm gonna say it's gonna go right back to personal development. Like I said, as soon as I started working on myself, and I started reading, fitness, all that stuff.
Any achievement you could share with us, like what you did and then where it got you? Like, I did this and it double X my income. I did this and
so it's actually pretty crazy because my income has doubled. As far as like as soon as I started working, my fitness changed. I've lost I would say almost 23 pounds.
Nice. So
far. As soon as I changed that, it started aligning to everything. Yeah. Like my business, I'm like on it now. Like I make sure, I used to show up with my truck all dirty.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, I was like, what, how am I detailing vehicles when you need to make that a priority. Right. I would always take the time to at least give it a good rinse, show up with some, tire dressing, make it look decent. I would reorganize everything. I started taking off a day to specifically work on the business. You get me? So that would be like marketing, organizing all my products, you know, getting things washed as far as rags, and you know, getting myself set up for the week. As much as we want to get that extra day to make some extra income, when you set yourself aside for that time, you will literally, you'll make that money back within that week.
Yeah, if you're not ready for it, then you're fumbling around looking for stuff in the van.
You plan to prepare or prepare to fail.
So
that's what happens. When you procrastinate, I was the biggest procrastinator prior to this.
And it's a struggle too, because even though I know you're on the same thing as I am, kind of fitness, just trying to get disciplined in that aspect of doing things we need to do, and it's not like we made up our mind and now it just got easy. You know, it's like a struggle.
It's every day.
It's
like
every
sometimes
day
you
you're
want to cheat.
fighting it. You know,
and like I said, we both have kids. You know, so like discipline has literally like motivation can get you far, but discipline is like, it needs to be done. I don't care how you feel. Like if you feel like you don't want to do something, you take 3 seconds, 5 seconds, and you get up and you do it, and you feel really good after anyways. So it's just...
What happened with me is, so say I would be doing so good, and then I'd mess up on one thing and it just throws me backwards, because then I get so hard on myself when I don't complete something, or like 75 hard. Like I still haven't completed it.
Just because we're so hard on ourselves.
And you know, when I fell on it, I quit trying to complete it just because it was messing with me. Like, you know, I mean, it's just excuses, so I'm not even going to start down that rabbit hole.
It could be done. It's just each time you get closer, you get me? Because like I almost finished it. And like precise, but
I got to like 73 days and I had a fever, and I walked the first day. The second day,
you were just dragging.
No way, bro.
You should have done some yoga. I see people doing yoga there.
I didn't want to count that. But it's messing with my head. Like it just throws me off track more.
I technically still do it. Like
I mean, I
still read.
I'm still doing all the things.
I drink a gallon of water every day.
I'm not hitting the gallon. I'm hitting like.
Some people have a hard time with that. I don't know what. I don't know. It could just be different.
The water was the hardest part for me.
Was it?
Yeah. Every the end of the day, I would be like, damn it. I got half a gallon left. In the beginning, when you first started your detailing business, and you could tell yourself one thing to do differently, what would it be?
Stick to one thing.
Stick to one thing?
Yeah. I had a...
Let me ask you why. And what do you mean by that? Like, as far as RVs, boats, cars?
No, I stick to one thing as far as business.
Business?
I had what you called shiny object syndrome. Which what I mean by that is that I wanted to play the role of entrepreneur. You get me? I'm the first entrepreneur in my immediate family, and pretty much, like, I saw the opportunity. I first started with like credit repair. I fixed my credit. I was able to scale my credit, like, you know, credit lines pretty high. I opened up my detailing business. I started doing. I had ATM machines. I opened up an Amazon store. Like, it was just all over the place. You get me?
Something you are doing this year that you never thought you would start doing when you first started?
I never honestly thought that I'd get to the point where I start working on $1 million vehicles. Not many detailers have the courage to do that. Everybody wants to get like to that point in their business where they're working on all these luxury vehicles.
But I wouldn't say everybody.
Yeah, because like I said, it's a big liability.
I mean, to work on the $1 million cars,
it's cool.
I mean, yeah.
But it's the same thing.
I mean, it's nice working on all those rich people's cars, but
yeah.
I mean, literally, I don't want to work on all the rich people's cars.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough people, like middle class people, that I can serve, that I could make a living.
Yeah.
You know, and if the rich people want to see what I'm doing and feel like calling me, sure. You know?
That's
just
true.
my mindset. Like,
yeah.
You know, I'm here to serve. I'm not here to just focus on the rich people and cater. I'm here to offer a service to the middle class.
To everybody.
Well, generally, I'm focusing on the middle class. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I focus on the middle class, and then sometimes I'll get other bookings from people with more money. But that's just what I do.
Yeah, I think it's just the value. You can be like, it's more of the value that you're offering, because like I said, you're thinking about the people. You're not thinking about making money.
Yeah.
And that's what's changed in my business as well. Before I was like, oh, how much am I gonna make off of this? Now I'm gonna say, how am I gonna serve this person?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've been becoming more spiritual.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I have too. I gotten closer to God, and it literally says in the Bible that once you start to focus, turn your focus into serving the person.
Oh yeah.
The money will come. Like it's just.
And I mean, it's easy to say.
Yeah.
But actually doing it and understanding why you're doing it and having the change of heart to actually do it is, like, that's the whole reason I started this podcast is for that reason alone. I felt called to start a podcast for some reason. So here we are.
No, it's good. Like I said, I mean, if it can benefit other people that are wanting to get into the industry and actually learn.
What part of business are you working on right now? And what part of business are you not working on right now? Be real.
I have it comes down to procrastination as far as maintenance.
Okay.
Like, my truck has 300,000 miles on original engine and transmission. And I should be maintaining that thing, because it's like, if that truck goes out, I'm pretty much screwed. I'm out of business, because my van's getting the transmission done. And God keeps telling me, like, hey, like, giving me signs, like, hey, you need to get this fixed. You need to do this, this, and that. And I need to make time. There's no excuses. You get me? Like, I need to make time and prioritize those things, because that's what feeds the family,
Last question. So if you spun this wheel right here, which one would you be most afraid to complete?
I'm trying to be humble, but I wouldn't be afraid of not many of them.
No, I mean, which one, like, okay, I know for you 20 push-ups is easy. I know for you 10 burpees is no problem. Okay, so I'm going to say it's going to be that one, which is call and give a competitor a compliment, or call a client that ghosted you and close deal.
Yeah, that'd probably be,
which
especially
one?
If you were to tell me to call someone right now. Like,
Well, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to call a client that ghosted us and close a deal. You got this?
How am I going to call them? They haven't responded. I don't have their number.
Oh, come on. Don't be scared. I'll do it too, but we're going to have to figure out recording, because I'll have to have you record me calling on my phone.
Okay. You want to go first?
Oh, you want me to go first? All right. Time out. Let me find somebody to call.